all the others should go. Ne? All the others should go. That's what Brent said. Attention guys, could all the adults go to Amani? All the adults, please go to Amani. And the kids at the back, please can you move in front? Thank you. We do not have time. Please, let's hurry up. So could we all kindly please stand up? Could we all please stand up? Could we all kindly please stand up? Could we all please stand up? Can we please stand up? We do not have time, guys. Could we please all stand up? Thank you. Then sit down. Yes, sit down. Then stand up again. Then sit down. Stand up. Sit down. Sit down. Stand up. And sit down. Stand up. And sit down. So, I can see not all of you are cooperating, which is why I'll continue. So can we stand up? Stand up. Sit down. Stand up. Sit down. Same time, same place, same pace. So could you please stand up? Sit down. Stand up. Sit down. Stand up. Sit down. Stand up. Sit down. Stand up. Sit down. Okay, thank you guys. We'll progress with the program. Thank you.
Hello? Okay. So guys, can you please settle down? Guys, can you please settle down? We only have like an hour till the program is over and then we can relax. So can you just cooperate so that we can finish with the presentations, then have a few key speakers and then we can go and relax. So I'd just like to confirm if everybody chose representatives for their groups. So can I please, if you're in group 1, can you please raise up your hand? Group 1, do you guys have a representative? Okay, so can I please have group 1, which is the violence against children group, can they please come upstage to present?
Hello. Good day, everyone. I hope we all had a wonderful lunch. So we are from Group 1 and we are given a presentation on violence affecting children. So this is just a summary because time is against us. So we are just giving a brief summary about violence affecting children, okay? And I believe this is not something new to us. So please, let's all pay attention and grab the little that we can, okay? So to start with, violence affecting children. We gave a brief definition of the term of violence. And we say violence, these are the forms of action being done to children that does not result in positive outcome to the child. Which the positive outcomes that we are trying to talk about here are the harmful outcomes on children that violence cause. And also we made mention that the form of violence that children face include physical violence, social violence, neglect, exploitation, and psychological violence. Children also face emotional violence. And all these forms of violence have long-term effects of children. Then, stepping from there, we also made some preventions that needs to be addressed when talking about violence. We say some of the prevention that we make, we need more laws to be enforced by government, or we need new laws. We need, children need to invest in good behavior. That is, we need not to always be doing violence at our homes, because what we children see is what we do, and which will affect us in the future. And also, some recommendations came up under the prevention. We say we need, there is inadequate reservation for children with disability. So we need the government and other organizations to put more emphasis on this. Then we say we need government to participate highly in ending violence against children. We don't need the government to believe in these violence activities to the non-governmental organization, as it is their responsibility to do so. So stepping from there, we just want to throw a message to world leaders. We say children are the future leaders. Children are the future leaders. Yes, we always hear this. But what type of future are we creating for us, the children? Are we creating a future where politicians come and tell us bedtime stories that will put us to sleep in the day? Are we creating a future for children where we only hear promises from world leaders and these promises are not meant to come true to us? No, this is not the type of future we want to hear. Now, this is why we are here today. This is the main reason that we are here today in the African Children's Summit, to make our demands, to make our needs be known to world leaders so that these needs, these demands, these promises can come true to us. You know, when we talk about the future is something that we vision. It's something that is not happened yet. And for us to make a future that we want, a future that is much safer for children, I believe it's now that we should act, the present which is in our hands. Thank you.
Sorry guys, can we all please keep quiet and listen for these few minutes? Thank you.
Bonjour tout le monde.
Good afternoon, everyone. If you would like to follow, please put on your headphones. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Mariam Batudi Bade. I'm from Mali, and I am a young activist and a leader for change and the development of children. Our group worked on violence, and we also discussed the definition of violence. Violence is very complex, and even to explain violence, you need a lot of time, and you cannot cite or give all examples of violence. It's impossible because I've tried. We discussed on violence, and we also discussed how we can reduce or eliminate violence, because wherever we are, whoever we are, we cannot be protected against violence, because it can come from nowhere and it can come anytime. What is the cause of the violence? It's the mentality. Mentality is the cause of violence. It's the mentality of the person who thinks that he or she is superior and I can cause violence against juniors. the mentality of always being annoyed, being angry, and meting violence on people who do not merit. Therefore, violence is based on the person's mentality and the mentality of people. What are the consequences of violence? There are different types of consequences, and we cannot cite all of them. But being children, we have the right and the duty to fight against violence. We have the right to meet, to come together so that we can discuss how we can end violence, especially in Africa. Violence causes sadness. We discussed how we can protect ourselves. We said that the authorities can have hotlines that can be in schools, hospitals, in families, in the community, and that the police should carry out regular visits in schools, in households, maybe 2 times in a month in schools. We also suggested that we should have psychologists in schools. Children and people should be free in school, and they should get people who are ready to listen to them and people who are ready to help them. I think that if we meet and if we discuss, we can fight against violence and we can reduce it. It's very frequent in Africa, and especially violence against children in Africa. And I would like to take advantage of this opportunity to tell you that me, as a young activity and a leader for change and child development, and you as a representative of your countries, I think my message is that we should continue meeting, exchange ideas as well as solutions, so that we can have an environment without violence. Otherwise, if we don't work together, we shall not solve the problem. We need to work together. It's very important. Thank you very much. I hope that I have not taken much of your time.
A big round of applause for her. Big round of applause. Thank you. So next on, we would like to call on the group that was discussing about climate change. The representative, a round of come. Could the representatives for climate change please rush on stage? Thank you.
Hi everyone.
So my name is Aisha Lubanga, and I am from Nairobi, Kenya. So I'm going to talk about environment. So we had different groups discussing about different things that affect our environment. And we came up with how different bodies can solve those issues. So first of all, I would like to say I'm very grateful for this opportunity to come in front of you, wonderful children and some adults. And I would like to start off with how the government can solve my first issue, climate change. So the government can solve climate change by reducing the use of plastic bags. So we all know that the government may import some plastic items, and I think that the government should just stop importing plastic items because they contribute to environmental pollution. And I think that environmental pollution affects us in so many ways as children, and the government should consider to stop importing and exporting plastic. It should also encourage crop diversity. So our farmers in Kenya nowadays do not have plans to sell because the government has brought up a system, GMO, and it is not favoring the farmers of Kenya. So the government should also consider the Kenyan farmers and encourage crop diversity. The government should also reduce the use of fossil fuels such as coal, gas, and petroleum, which act as a huge contributor to climate change. The government should also start campaigns. The government should also start campaigns of the disadvantages of climate change. These campaigns will help us citizens, as Africans, to know the disadvantages of climate change and to stop everything that we do that contributes to climate change. The government can also contribute to deforestation, and it should start by restrictions on cutting down trees. There should be different restrictions of the activities of cutting down trees. The government should also start by planting more trees in our environment, which will contribute to climate change by bringing rain, acting as windbreaks, and stop flooding. It should also give penalties to those who cut down trees. We all know that tree cutting is amongst the biggest issues in Africa, and the government in all the African countries should come together and know the type of penalties that should be given to those who cut down trees. The government should also increase the need of licenses when cutting down trees. I don't know about other countries in Africa, but Kenya uses licenses, but the Kenyan citizens do not follow the rule of needing a license when cutting down trees. That has become a big issue because people cut down trees and the government knows they do not use licenses, but they do not take action. And we need them to take action for a better continent. They should also do campaigns for the disadvantages of deforestation. If we know the disadvantages of deforestation, we will stop deforestation for the better future of the children who are the present and the future. My third topic is about environmental pollution. The government can stop environmental pollution by recycling plastic materials. They should start industries and activities of recycling plastic materials which help in pollution all around Africa. They should also start campaigns on the disadvantages of environmental pollution. They should also penalize environmental polluters. This will help us to stop environmental pollution because people will be afraid of the penalties, hence stopping environmental pollutions. The second body that can help in helping our environment for the future is the industries. The industries can help in climate change by using microfilters, stopping plastic production. They can help in deforestation by use of reducing wooden pencils which are made by cutting down trees and producing mechanical pencils which can be made by metals or other resources. It can stop environmental pollution by implementing electronic cars instead of the ones that contribute in creating the carbon and methane. It can also help in production of sulfur oil instead of ordinary oils used by cars. Sulfur oil helps in reducing methane and carbon production. They should also consider using filters when making cars to reduce carbon emissions in our environment. Thank you for your time.
Hello, hello. I hope you're fine. You are all good? Okay. My name is Blessings from Zambia. And my question was, what is the relationship between environmental rights and violence against children? So these are some of the similarities that we found. Sexual violence due to lack of security usually happens to almost everyone, even the girl child. When they go to cell, they are exposed to different hazardous conditions like sexual harassment from others and other kinds of like bullying on the streets when they are selling. Those are some of the security issues that us as children have to face when we are selling or doing our work. The second point is physical violence caused by lack of food, conflict caused by scarce or resources. For example, when in a country there is war, when in a certain country there's war, we know that there are almost everyone affected. They are relocated somewhere and given relief. Yes, they are given aid by different institutions like USAID. Yes. Now that aid, when they are given, we know that there are thousands and thousands of families who want that aid. And when it's just distributed to one person, it can cause conflicts in order that everyone wants that same aid and they'll start fighting for the same food or relief that they have been provided with. They'll resort to fighting for it. Some of them will just resort just to leave the refugee camps and just become street kids on the streets. Yes. The third point, being beaten and afterward adopted by parents by being adopted by people who are not your biological parents. When you're adopted as a child, when you're adopted to a certain family, maybe the family isn't those families who care about children's rights and they don't even know about your rights. They'll result to you doing the work for them in their home. You'll result to being a maid, a garden boy. They'll just be giving you work which you as a child, you deserve to go to school. Instead of you going to school, they'll start giving you work in their house because that's where you're staying and that's where you're eating your food from. So in that area, it should change. Those parents should be at least educated before they adopt a child. They should be educated about a child's rights, and that child should be given that opportunity to express his or her views to them. When he wants to go to school, they should say, let him go to school and let him have his way. The fourth point. Cultural activities that cause violence. There are some cultural activities, for example, back home in Zambia, when there are traditional ceremonies, there is like traditional dances by, how can I say it? In our own language, we call them ifinyao. Ifinyao. Those are traditional dancers who dance in traditional dances. But sometimes it looks like a little bit evil. It doesn't look that convincing. So those traditional dances and the tradition, it can cause some violence to a child in order that they don't have to express their rights because of the tradition that their parents adopted a long time ago. And in the rural areas, they don't really usually want change to modern eras. They usually keep the same old tradition which they were in the colonial times. My sixth point. Polluted environments which may cause the violation of the rights of healthy, for example, a child risks a chance of nutrition, contaminating of waterborne diseases due to intake of the water which when a child takes water which is contaminated from the rivers. As we know, the rivers are used in many cases because even industries, their waste from the industries, it usually goes to the rivers. And people who stay near those rivers go to fetch water from those rivers. Most of the times, they are exposed to different hazardous diseases. They take waterborne diseases from that. They take skin diseases because that's the same water which they use to drink, and some of the children like to go and swim in the rural areas. The seventh point, insecurity which may cause the act of violence are known as sexual harassment. Okay, this point I've already spoken about it, I think. I'll just go to the next one. Lack of environmental rights may also cause poor development, either socially, mentally, or spiritually. The lack of environmental rights. A child has a right. Everyone has a right. Anyone has a right to go to church, right? When you believe in something, you can do it. Everyone has a right to go to church. Everyone has a right to go to school. But since these environmental rights are absolutely violated by other people, you have a right like to food, you have a right to shelter, proper clothing, all those are children's rights which are being violated in our communities. And that should stop, because we need to educate the elders in the community about the rights of a child, so that they may know, even as they are sending their child to school, they should know the rights of a child, and when they are violated, they should be the ones supporting the child, not the ones violating the child's rights. The last point, but not the least, lack of environmental rights causes drug abuse and substance abuse. For example, a child fails an exam in school. And in my country, there is a system which is called external. It's whereby you go and rewrite the subjects that you failed. Yes. When a child fails an exam and the parents fail to pay for external, the parents will just leave the child to remain home, look after the home, look after the young ones. But a child sometimes is left alone at home. The children go to school, maybe the young ones go to school. When he's left alone, he may start being found with bad company because he's never going to school. He's never having that exposure to go to school again. His parents have forgotten about, they refuse that they can't manage to pay external. And now when a child indulges himself in drugs and other substance abuse in the community, he becomes a thief. That also is human rights violation, because the parents should look at the education of a child. We are the future leaders of tomorrow, and parents shouldn't discriminate us just because of we failed and they refuse that, no, I can't pay for external school fees. No. Parents should be educated about children's rights and not be violated. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum. Other than being a comedian, I'm also a spokesman. I haven't yet said the joke. Why are you laughing? So, my question was, what environmental problems do you have in your community? Some of the environmental problems faced in our communities are, the first one is pollution. For example, air pollution. It is pollution caused by harmful gases like carbon dioxide and carbon monoxide, trash sites. Well, many are asking how corruption can affect the environment. In Western countries, bribe is given under the table. In Asian countries, bribe is given on the table. But in Africa, the table itself is given as a bribe. So, this applies the same. When our government officials are given funds to protect our environment, the money itself is taken and then thrown away into their pockets. So, this affects the environment. Poor waste management. Sewage companies don't clear the sewage properly and dump the waste in water bodies or somewhere else, and using too much or little of resources. For example, no one knows where all the sewage goes. Maybe someone, if he knows, or we all don't know. And poverty. This is what is facing the environment. Proper housing in some of the places like Kibra, you may find some things called like mabati houses. So these may change the environment, and the mabati that is used in building their houses is just thrown away on all over while building their houses. Factory waste. The government thinks that it's helping us by producing different products. It's killing us. Do you think they are helping us? No. Some of the waste that they emit in the air or also in rivers may cause problems in our community. Cutting down of trees. This is faced in many areas, in arid, semi-arid, and in the rainforest. Trees provide fresh oxygen, and if we cut down trees, the air we breathe will not be fine. And also, people just use the trees to make money. They don't know the other side of it. So that was my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that wonderful presentation. Can we please give him another round of applause? So I'd like to call upon Area 3, which is Media and Technology, to come and present their work. Can you please give them a round of applause as they approach the stage?
Good afternoon. I'm Anna Wangeshi, and we were talking about media and technology. We came to discuss that these are platforms used to bring us together. Technology is something created in order to make work easier. For example, computers which we can use to do research. We should learn on how to navigate technology since we cannot run away from it. This is the new generation. We discussed on advantages of media and technology. Some of the advantages: it made access to information easier since we have websites, we have applications like Google, which we use for our research. Technology is also used for people who do homeschooling. We can use technology to create games, which we can make money for ourselves as young people. We can get to make friends through social media, and we can be entertained through applications like Spotify and Apple Music. Disadvantages of media and technology: it brings forth moral decay. Some websites which are not children-friendly, or advertisements which may pop up. It may bring forth addiction, since if you give the child an opportunity to use technology, they may use it for longer time, and you may find that they are not able to manage their time and they get addicted. Technology creates a platform which might get the creators of a platform might get to know a lot of our personal information. We also discussed on how media and technology affect inclusivity. The inclusivity is ensuring everybody is engaged, including the blind and the deaf. So, the blind can listen to news and any type of information since there are audio-friendly ways of passing information. For example, the radio, use of interpreters for the deaf, and also one important point that we learned: we should not be defined by our social media. We should not be defined by our social media followers, since it may bring down our mental health.
Okay. I'm going to be talking about access to the internet. As you know, so many people don't have access to the internet. Mad people don't have access to the internet. So some people, so we need to like make that normal. Not because like the internet is like, bad or good or something. It's just like, other kids need to learn we're Gen Z. We need the internet, like exactly for coding, making games, basically just, to advance basically. So yeah, we need to bring the internet to school, but you don't need like too much internet. Like imagine you're like at home, you've been like on the internet, just basically on a device for like 12 hours straight. And then the power goes, not even the power, the internet goes, and then you go to the dining table. It's like 11 a.m. or 12 a.m. You can pick a time. And then you go to your mom, and then you said, "Oh, mom, I don't have any, the internet is gone. I've been on for like 12 hours, and I need you to pay for it." And then your mom tells you, look at the table. Look at the table. What's on the table? You say food. And then she says exactly, that is the money I used. The money I used was put in food, not in the internet. You don't need the internet that much. That's what I'm trying to say. You don't need the internet like a lot. Like the internet is not like, the next coming of Christ or something. It's not like, that much. Like you can survive without the internet, but you can't escape the internet. That is the problem. You can't escape the internet. So, and the internet is like used to help and also used to destroy. So basically, yeah. And there are a bunch of places, and when I mean a bunch of places, I mean a bunch of places, countries, countries without, internet. Basically, there are like a bunch of countries without internet, and I feel like, those countries, need internet. And I know, and obviously I'm gonna say, oh, it's the government. Yes, they take everything, not everything, but taxes doesn't go to like children or like to use it for helping people advance. It's just not used for that. So I would like to say that please do better. Like just put all the money and everything like on schools for helping kids advance, in technology. So basically, yeah. And then another point I want to say is that the internet is not for everyone. And I don't mean like old people or young people. Okay, yeah, not for young people. Like people who are like 7, 11, they don't deserve to use the internet like randomly. They need like parental control or something like that. They need parental control. Yeah, just parental control, or they could just seek like someone older than them for like guidance, for help, because you can't just let a kid go on the internet random. Even when I was a kid, I got my first laptop when I was like, no, I saw a device and I was like, well, how was I? I was 9. I didn't know anything, but I didn't like go on Google Chrome. I only downloaded one game, and that's the only thing I had. But when I got older, I wanted to explore Google Chrome, and that's like, I think that's, the internet broke me 50%. Now, the internet broke me 70%. The internet has broke me, but I'm still living. So, yeah, don't give Wi-Fi and gadgets to a little 7-year-old or 11, or you should just monitor them. That is basically what I'm saying. You shouldn't just give it to anyone random. So yeah. And now, back to what I was saying. I was talking about parental control. Please, and when I mean please monitor your kids using the internet. Even me right now, I'm more monitored, but like, I don't do dumb stuff on it. But like 3 years ago, I wish I was monitored, because if I was, I wouldn't see the stuff that I've seen. I wouldn't see the stuff that I've seen, and I think I'm broken off that. I think I don't know what it did to my head, but like, yeah, I think there's something, yeah, it messed up my head. It messed with me. It messed with me completely. And now, education. I am going to be talking about education and so basically our kids really need education and stuff like PCs, tablets, because I am privileged and I am lucky to have the technology and stuff. I'm not going to say that technology is a waste. Technology is not a waste. The internet is bad. Technology is also bad, but the internet is worse. That's what I am trying to say. So, if you want to help, people, I would advise you do, coding and, just coding. Because that is, how the new generation will grow to make more things, basically. And you also have to teach them how to be cyber smart, when stuff are scams. Because when I was a kid, I clicked on so many links. And ads, and I did not know they made $10 while they give me $1. When I was making money off the internet, I was making for people by watching ads, by helping them make their ads. They made $20, and I made $1 or $2. It was so bad. So you're just monitor your kids. If you're gonna grow up to the internet, or you're gonna advance in the internet, you know when to be smart and not. You have to know how to be cyber smart, know what to do. That's why you have to seek someone that is older than you, basically. And then how to be online safety. Basically, if for me, what I'm gonna say is not all ad blockers are good. Please don't use Chrome extensions if you have a laptop, because some of them will hack you. And so don't download any random thing. Don't download random links. Don't download random clips. You always have to know if it's guaranteed and safe. That is why I have had my HP laptop for how many years now? 8, 7, I don't know. But just be safe on the internet. Don't click on random links. And especially if you're 13, do not go on Discord. Don't go on Discord. Anyway, back to what I was saying. Now, this is the role of the child. This is the role of the child because, you don't want to be broken. That's the thing. You don't want to see stuff you do not want to see. Stuff that sickens you. Stuff that makes your spine shiver. Stuff that breaks you mentally. Stuff that you cannot, be the same after you saw what you saw. So, basically, what I would advise is inform your parents. That is basically what I would advise. I would advise you inform your parents on what you are doing, because you... okay, thank you. I didn't even finish. Oh, my days. I'm not even got into my... Oh, my days. I'm not even gonna... Okay, good.
Can you please give him a round of applause? I'm also sorry for cutting you off. Time is no longer on our side. So can I please have the Access to Justice group come present their work? And can I please have two presenters for Access to Justice to come present their work? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay. That was such a long speech. I'm from Group 4. My name is Gitao Gidinji. Yes. So I'm going to read out the points that I noted down. Yeah. Please give me your ears. Thank you. Somebody is removing it. Okay. Number 1, justices taken to children. So point number 1 was there is availability of children justice system because the ACRWC, the African Charter on the Rights and Welfare of the Child, has offered a body that a justice can be taken to a child. Point number 2 is that as a court of law, it has partners that work with them. So it was a question that I asked, and my answer was that the court of law doesn't work on its own, but it has partners that also help in such cases. Point number 3, in a court of law, there is no easy devastation. What does it mean? It means that when a child has a case, he or she has committed a case there, he has a mistake, the child is not likely to be devastated by the court of law. Number 4, in a court of law, where a child has a conflict case about the parents, it's likely the decision of the child whether to stay with the mother or father, or even taken to children institutions or given to relatives of the child. If the child has no interest on staying with both of the parents. This means that, for example, that I have a case, I've gone to the police station to make a statement. When I'm going to be taken to the court of law, so that the case is going to be heard, it is likely the decision of the child to decide, am I going to stay with mother or father? Because you find in between the parents, one maybe is a drug addict, another one maybe is violent to you. So the child is likely to choose. And when the child has no interest on staying with both the parents, the child is likely to be taken to institutions or given to trustworthy relatives. Point number 5, in a child's case, if the child has no that ability to have a lawyer to stand for him or her, the court of law is capable of offering him or her a lawyer because I can't have a case, I go to the court. You find that maybe I was violated sexually or emotionally or physically, so that thing may be disturbing me. But you find most children in Africa, we are not like the Europeans and the Asians. Those guys are very rich. You get, like the child who invented these bulbs was 12 years old. Africa, where were we forgotten? But you find that most children in Africa, we are poor. So when I am violated against my rights, I am not capable of having a lawyer, but the court of law is capable of providing one. Point number 6 is that in cases that involve foreigners, whom I call them aliens, there is a possibility of justice through the Justice Committee, that is the African Charter for the Rights and Welfare of the Child. So this body, it's mostly, for example, if a South African is here in Kenya, is maybe accidentally gets an accident, and you find in a certain country, maybe they will discriminate him or her, but according to Kenya, we do not discriminate these foreigners. So the African Charter on the Rights and Welfare of the Child takes this responsibility to make sure that they justify and they get justice for the child. Point number 7, in an accident, there is also justice given to the victim through the office of the DPP. Yeah, there is my friend there on Monday said that he was involved in an accident, but he didn't get justice. So that was really a serious one. My friend, go and look for those people in the offices of DPP, you'll get justice. Number 8, for the children, these are also guidelines that are given to them if they wish to report cases and write statements to the police station, because you may find a child is fearful, shy, so she's not able, she don't have that confidence to go to the police station and report the case. So if you are in that category, please, I'm just advising you, you go to your favorite class teacher, your head teacher, like that, and you're going to be helped. Another point is that in such like cases that you may find that the child, okay, I'll say that. Another one, although when cases like sexual interaction between a boy or girl, this case is very common. And this results due to boyfriend and girlfriend. Are you understanding me? I hope you are understanding. High schoolers, you know these things. Yes, you know what boyfriend and girlfriend means. Yeah. So you find that you are in that situation that you are pulled with the opposite sex, and this can lead to sexual activities. So if you are involved, I know the world that we are living right now, you are not forced. You are going to get in there deliberately. In such cases, when you are going to be reported, the court of law is going to judge both of you, and you're going to be taken stern action. Another one, but I wonder, in such a case of sexual abuse, you find that when there is that relationship between a boy or girl, when you go to court, okay, I'm a boy child, so I'm going to give an example with myself. If I've committed such a sin, I'm going to be taken stand action. But the girls are favored. And that is not gender equality, that is gender inequality. Another point is that I think God created us all equalizing us. But the police, you will find that when we are caught, I'm going to be beaten up with those rungus. But the girl is just told, get in here. But the boy, kijana, unafanya, you get that action that the police take, it is not good. So I'm urging the government, these civil servants, they are not doing good to us. Okay, I'm talking on behalf of the African child, but I'm specifying on the boy child right now. Yeah. So the government, please, if we are caught with a mistake, a boy or girl, we should be taking equal action. Equal action. Equal action. Highlighted that. Yes. Thank you very much for listening.
Good afternoon, everyone. My names are Jeff Maxwell from Nairobi, Kenya. I'm also a member of Group 4. In Group 4, you have talked about justice, but I'm going to talk about health. Health. We all know about health, yes? We all know about health, yes? Yes, I need the energy. I'm going to talk about the challenges faced by children in the matters of health. The first challenge is poverty. We all know that, I'm going to be specific. In Kenya, we have much cases about poverty. Like, just let's say yesterday, there was a case about the demonstration. It's just yesterday, yes? Demonstration. A child was injured and the mother took the child to the hospital. Due to lack of money, the child was not treated. So the mother took the child to a hospital that she can afford. That is the thing I'm talking about, poverty. Poverty. The other point is malnutrition due to lack of good food. The third point is home treatment by parents. So, sorry, I'm shivering. You're many. Discrimination. As my colleague have said, boys are treated worsely. Like in my school, the school I learned, when a boy becomes sick, they do not take the issue seriously. But when it's a girl, maybe say a teacher is teaching and the girl just kneel down and sleep, the teacher can take even the lesson discussing about the issue. That is discrimination. Adding in discrimination, I'm jumping to justice. During the COVID-19 pandemic, in December 25th, 2020, I was caught by the police during the curfew. And they didn't treat me well because they beat me up like I'm a thief at night. They beat me up. December, imagine, celebrating Christmas. They beat me up and jailed me in the cell to sleep there for 1 day. Passing through all the beatings and all bad treatment, they also took 1,000 from my mother so that I can be released. That's a big issue. That's a big issue. For us boys, it could be a girl, she could not even sleep in the jail. The government should stress on that. Other thing, in justice. In justice, I'm going to speak about the things that the government should do to help the children in the issues of justice. The first thing, the government of Africa should have an intercontinental court that can stand to defend the foreign children. We all know that we have many foreign children. Let's say you are in Kenya and the police caught you, they will want the money I'm talking about. And yours will be much more than mine. Imagine I'm a Kenyan and 1,000 shillings. Now, if you have 1,000 shillings, what can you do? That's a question. The second thing, the government should be able to provide job opportunities for parents so that the poverty can reduce. I think that's all. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Marion Angela, Group 4. As a good debater, I'd like to say this. I'll ask the committee if you can make a debate about children, because I believe in debate sessions, you get a lot of points more than this. We spoke about justice, and somebody asked, can a foreigner get justice? Yes, a foreigner can get justice, but with conditions. a foreigner can get justice, but with conditions. That is to avoid a lot of difficulties because some of them may take advantage and run away after the case. We also have can a Kenyan get justice in another country? Okay, it is so hard for a Kenyan to get justice in another country. I would like one of the group members, the adults that we were with, to elaborate, please. Okay. I will also talk about discrimination that has been talked with my colleagues, because sodomy, men being sodomized has happened a lot in Kenya, and it has been, many of them have not been taken seriously, and would like that case to be taken more serious about men, because we are not supposed to believe that men are so strong than women, that they can work alone. And also, okay, somebody asked, why do cases in the court take a long time? Number one, it depends with the witnesses. Some of the witnesses, if they don't appear more earlier to testify, it also helps that they don't. Another thing, if the accused person also has some resistance, it does not happen. And also for the official governments, they also have some other official works, which is so hard. But that doesn't mean that the case has been neglected. No, the case is still there. Thank you.
Yes, the next presentation is mine. Everyone, I just want to come and tell you guys that hello. Okay, sorry, I was saying, if you are with me, say hello. Yes, I met with these children and we talked about different topics. Specifically, we talked about the child justice system in Africa. At least we tried to. It was almost lunch, so we tried to talk about it. We mentioned the process that happens when a child gets arrested, at least here in Kenya. We talked about some of the rights that children have, the children of Africa, that is in general, that is constituted by the Human Rights Act. We also talked about, we mentioned a bit about violence against children and how to avoid it, as well as why we deserve to be listened to. So yes, I just wanted to mention that to remind you guys that the children, the 10 years and younger, also met and we learned and we played. Sindio? Yes? Yes? Awesome, thanks.
Just leave it.
Okay. So I believe we have come to the end of our session and our program. So would just love to thank everyone that made today possible. Would love to thank all the children that took part in the sessions, all our delegates that took their time to come to our sessions and sit in with us, listen to our complaints, and try their best to solve the issues. Would also love to thank all our chaperones that took their time with us here today, and would just love to say thank you, and we're anticipating for tomorrow's session.
So we would like everyone to stand up so we can sing the Kenyan national anthem and the Eastern Africa national anthem. Thank you. So everyone can stand up now.
May we please have a volunteer to have the closing prayer? Anyone? Thank you.
Let's bow down for a word of prayer. Almighty Father, God, for God, I give thanks because of this day. Thank you for being with us from morning until now. May your journey, may you give the people who are going to their homes, may you give them journey mercies, oh God, and all glory shall be back unto you, oh God. In Jesus' name, I pray and believe.
Thank you.